All right, motherfucks. I didn't really come up with a nice, clever old song intro to this one like I've been singing in the last few videos because here we are, motherfucks. But I gotta say this, right? After making my Ryback video, I started thinking about some other things that Ryback said, right? We're not gonna talk about them, but we're gonna talk about the implications of that, right? Now, one of the things that Ryback mentioned essentially is something that I think resonates with a lot of these younger wrestlers, right? This entitlement. You know what I mean? I don't understand this, right? It's the strangest thing. It started with CM Douche, right? And he had this mentality of, I've been working all year and therefore I deserve the main event. Like, he was under the impression that the amount of times you show up to work is what determines who is the main eventer. No, motherfucker. That's not how it works. Ask Dean Ambrose about that. You know what I'm saying? Dean Ambrose shows up once every 3 or 4 weeks in AEW, right? And boom, he's always in the main event. Now, what are you going to do about that? Nothing. You can't do anything about it. That's how the world works, all right? So CM Punk thought this was unfair, right? And also, he thought, and other people like him, thought that there was some sort of correlation, right? And some sort of, like, fucking entitlement attached to the idea that if you are the one who appears in the irrelevant parts of the year, that somehow this has any bearing on WrestleMania. The facts are this, motherfucker. If WWE wanted to take an entire year off, right? They're just like, we're not going to tour this year because of COVID, let's say. We're not going to do anything. We're going to shut this shit down for 1 year, starting the day after WrestleMania. However, we're going to have WrestleMania next year. People would still watch WrestleMania because nobody cares about who wrestles at Fastlane. You understand what I'm saying? Nobody gives a shit about this. But CM Punk seems to be under the impression that because he wrestled in Fastlane and Backlash and Great Balls of Fire, that somehow this means that he has earned the right to wrestle at WrestleMania. You haven't earned shit because it's not how it works, motherfucker. It doesn't matter if you've pulled together the best matches at Great Balls of Fire. Nobody cares. Nobody watched those matches. That's the point, right? As a matter of fact, now that I think about it, I think wrestling would benefit from a year off. Think about how cool that would be. Just like a year off, you know, the hater could just talk about old shit, you know what I'm saying? And then 1 year of rest with no wrestling and then just come back big time. Like reboot everything, you know what I'm saying? It'd be pretty sick. Now, also, it would also be bad in many ways. Let's not get it twisted. But that's the point I'm trying to make, right? These people are under the impression that they are as big as number one WWE and as number two WrestleMania, and they're not, right? They're not. WrestleMania has a certain level, a certain standard, you know what I mean? They have a certain standard that they have to uphold. And that standard typically doesn't involve CM Punk in the closing match. Why? Because nobody wants to see that shit, right? I know that the Smarks wanted to see it. I know all these, Chicago is awesome. Like, all these douchebags wanted to see it. Oh, Daniel Bryan's coming. He's going to revolutionize WWE. Like, these jabros wanted to see it. But the rest of us didn't give a fuck. You know, it's called like it is. So, this is not a slight against CM Punk or anybody else in particular. It's more a slight towards this generation of wrestlers, right? Because Ryback's comments that I'm talking about now were in the context of Goldberg coming in and winning the title, right? Also, his comments completely contradict everything that he said with respect to wrestling being fake, right? Because in this other thing that I read, basically he was saying how Goldberg was not liked very much by Vince and Triple H, which makes sense because he was a WCW guy, right? But they didn't like him very much, and all of a sudden now they bring him back and give him the title, right? So Ryback already automatically, right, explains that Goldberg getting the title is something of value, right? Because he compares it to them not liking him. Then he continues, motherfucks, to say that if I was one of the guys that worked there, I would be pissed. Pissed at what? I thought the titles didn't mean anything, motherfucker. You know, I thought it meant nothing to be champion. Why are you pissed then? Why are you pissed, right? Why are you pissed? You're pissed because there is a clear correlation between having the title, getting to the main event, and making more money. That's why you're pissed. Of course, there's a value to it, right? That's the point, Cucks. You know what I'm saying? So there you go. Goldberg coming in and taking the spotlight and the title and whatever, the main event, from Dolph Ziggler or from CM Punk bothers Ryback, right? Now, why does it bother him? Because, once again, he is under the impression that you have to earn your spot at WrestleMania by working throughout the whole year. Nobody ever made this rule. Nobody ever agreed to this. You know what I'm saying? Do you think, motherfucks, let's hypothesize that Tom Brady gets hurt next season, game 1, right? Game 1, someone breaks his motherfucker. He breaks his leg, right? Or Ronaldo gets his leg broken. Game 1 of next year's season, right? Champions League, let's say, right? And let's say it takes both of these motherfucks a long time to heal up, right? And they are both able to heal up by the time that Tampa Bay makes it to the Super Bowl, let's say, without Tom Brady, and by the time that Juventus makes it, by the time that Portugal makes it to the World Cup final without Ronaldo. Now, what do you think is going to happen? Let's say that Ronaldo and Tom Brady come back 100%. What do you think is going to happen? Do you think that the organization is going to say, well, you know what? Ronaldo, the best striker of all time, basically, Ronaldo didn't really earn his spot in the World Cup final because he didn't play against Croatia. He didn't play against Slovakia. You know what I'm saying? Like, he didn't play against Northern Ireland in the group stage. No, nobody's going to give a fuck about any of this. They're going to say, sorry, kid, whoever the fuck takes his place at striker. Sorry, kid, back to the bench for you. Ronaldo's back. That's how it works, motherfucks. That's how it works. Because we're trying to get the best result out of this situation, right? And the best result doesn't involve you. The best result doesn't involve the backup quarterback who played the first 16 games to go to the Super Bowl, right? When the good quarterback comes back, right? The only time this is justified is when the new quarterback is like better than the old quarterback, right? Obviously, that totally makes sense. But you see what I'm saying, motherfuckers? You are not entitled to some sort of reward because you've been there the whole time. This literally is what a participation award is. It's I've participated all year, therefore I deserve to win something. No, motherfucker. You are lucky to get what you get. A spot on the card at WrestleMania. And you're lucky to even get that, if you ask me, motherfuckers. Oh, The Rock came out of nowhere and ruined my 450-day title reign. Well, what the fuck did you expect? To be champion forever? You know? Why don't you go try to be a champion somewhere else like the UFC? Get your ass beat, boy. You know what I'm saying? What about that, huh? What do you think of them apples? So that's what I'm getting at. The Rock comes back. The Rock is more charismatic. The Rock is better. The Rock is more marketable. The Rock is a better wrestler in the ring, right? Everything he's better at than CM Punk. So therefore, he beats CM Punk. And the CM Punk's counter argument is, well, I understand that he's better, but he didn't wrestle S.A. Rios on the pre-show of Fireball, WWE Fireball, like on the WWE Network. He didn't do that. He didn't wrestle like Morishima in Japan. He didn't do that. No, he didn't. He doesn't need to do that, motherfucker. Because wrestling Morishima and wrestling on the pre-show means absolutely nothing. Nobody gives a fuck, right? What people care about is WrestleMania. And when the casual, and I don't mean just the casual wrestling fans, I mean the casual viewer, motherfucks. Not the casual wrestling fan, but the casual motherfucker. Like the family member of the guy that's watching WrestleMania and paying $80 for it, right? The family's like, I guess we'll watch it too because he's paying $80. Maybe it's cool, right? These people do not want to see CM Punk. Sure as shit. Not even the casual wrestling fans want to see CM Punk. But sure as shit, average viewers do not want to see CM Punk. Ask yourself, if you have a girlfriend or a boyfriend or a family member or a friend who doesn't watch wrestling, and you, in your head, you envision showing them 2 WrestleManias. One with The Rock in the main event and one with CM Punk in the main event. Which one would they enjoy more? Exactly, motherfuckers. Exactly. It speaks for itself. And that's the problem that I have with this generation of wrestlers, right? This entitlement, this participation trophy mentality is all over the place. It's I was there, therefore I should get the main event. No. Nobody cares that you were there. That argument only works if you add this clause to it. I was there, people really cared about me being there, and that's why I should become, actually no, people cared about me being there, and they now care about me more than this other guy you're trying to bring in. If you cannot, in 1 year of consistently performing, cannot make yourself more interesting than a guy like The Rock or Goldberg coming back for 1 day, then you just aren't that good, and you have to accept that. And it's not a conspiracy against you, CM Punk and Ryback. Absolutely not. It's not a conspiracy against you. It really has to do with your innate abilities, right? The same abilities that Ryback mocks, right, by saying that wrestling isn't real, all this other shit, right? He doesn't have those qualities. That's why he's Ryback. People like Mark Henry do. That's why they're Mark Henry. You know what I'm saying? It's really that simple, right? Bad Bunny, that motherfucker that keeps showing up on Raw. Bad Bunny, motherfuckers. Bad Bunny made a song called Booker T. Now I ask you this. Do you think, even if Ryback had a Booker T length career, do you think that there would be some other rapper, maybe a Brazilian rapper or some other foreign rapper, right, that would, in a foreign language, make a song about Ryback? Do you think that would ever happen? As far as I'm concerned, it's almost surprising that he did it about Booker T, right? Because even Booker T isn't that big of a deal, but he did, motherfucks, and it's pretty cool. Now the song is whatever, but it's pretty cool that Booker T now has a song about him. You know what I mean? Do you think anyone will ever make a song about CM Punk? I don't mean where they reference him in the context of being a cuck or getting his ass beat. I'm talking about, do you think they're going to make a song called CM Punk about CM Punk? And furthermore, do you think it'll be a hit song from an actual A-list performer? Or do you think it'll be some bullshit like, oh, the Sonic Twats, some like bullshit like indie band? No, motherfuckers, I'm talking about a real one, right? There you go. That should answer all concerns that everyone may have about the situation. You dig? All right, motherfuckers. I'll talk to you guys later.